It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millers Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedule, what's biting, and seasonal hunting information with outdoor reporters Joe Allen Dunn, Kevin Sims, and Shane Jones. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millers Ferry hunting and fishing report.
All right, Big Daddy, here we go.
There he is. Team Bigfoot, baby. Another one on the B&B Silver Shade. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Shane Jones crappie fishing.
Got it.
First one, 2023, smackdown.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gettin Outdoors podcast, episode 210, Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report. I'm Big Daddy and got Kevin and Shane and Joe Allen ain't going to be here today, but me and you can cover it pretty good. I think.
Yeah, we take up slack.
Yeah, we take up all the slack. We're going to, I just got through with interviewing David Hawley, Wild Turkey Report. We kind of stepped outside the box a little bit, and he gave us a great interview about Mossy Oak. I didn't realize how big and strong Mossy Oak was, boy. They strong over there in West Point, Mississippi, and I really did enjoy talking to him, and I know y'all will too. Got a good crowd already on here this evening. Kevin,
Big Fishman on there.
Brian and Al and Brooke Smith over at Lock 5, Travis Lee, Freddie over in Meridian, Doug Pugh. How you doing, Doug? Bud Williamson, he's a regular now, ain't no doubt about it. Noonan Hall over in Natchez, Mississippi, and old Don Philpott. Appreciate Josh Robinson. Appreciate all y'all tuning in today. We're going to start with some serious stuff today, y'all. Everybody that keeps up with outdoors knows what happened this past weekend out on the lake. We had an incident between a landowner and a angler, and all of us have our ideas about what's what and what's what. Me and Kevin, we're not going to harp on it, but I do want to play this. It's just 4 minutes. And I was so glad that Kay did this interview with Captain Brooks, who is the head of ALEA, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency in Alabama that's in charge of these kind of episodes. And I want y'all to listen to every word of what he said.
The homeowners and fishermen don't always see eye to eye on where property lines stop and where anglers have the right to fish and things like that. We've seen confrontations on YouTube, and it seems like now everybody has a camera on their boat. We've seen confrontations where homeowners come out and say, you can't fish my dock. This is my property. You can't fish this dock, and even go on to threaten an angler. So can you talk a little bit about where the line is and what anglers' rights are when it comes to fishing those waters?
Absolutely. So, unfortunately for us, user group conflicts are something that has seemed to be increasing in nature. And so we're taking that on now as a way of also educating the public and trying to give people an idea of how they should respond in the event such an incident happens. So when I say user groups, I mean, if you divide it in Alabama, we have, of course, recreational fishermen. We have people that boat that don't fish on certain lakes where the traffic's predominantly, just recreational water sports activity. Mm-hmm. You have a new segment which seems to be drawing a lot of attention now with wakeboard vessels and wakeboard issues. We've got personal watercraft. We have pontoon boats. We have the whole gamut. Plus, the property owner has got to be figured in all this. So anytime that you're not opening up any new bodies of water, we're having more people utilize the bodies of water. There's going to be conflicts between those groups. And so our primary focus is instructing people and encouraging people to use common sense and civility when dealing with one another. So Alabama is a very strong state in providing rights to hunters and fishermen, especially on the public waters, where it's actually illegal for anyone to willfully or knowingly prevent, obstruct, impede, disturb, or interfere with, or attempt to prevent, obstruct, impede, disturb, or interfere with any person in legally hunting or fishing pursuant to the rules and regulations of the Department of Conservation, Natural Resources, and the law of the state of Alabama. So we also recognize, though, that these property owners, many times, folks talk to us all the time about it's a lifelong dream of theirs to live on the water. They've saved their entire lives. They've purchased this property. They've made improvements to it. They've spent a lot of money in creating their, dream home. And so there's also a certain expectation there from them to be left alone and have a little bit of privacy. So where the conflict comes in is that the water is actually owned by the state of Alabama. Mm-hmm. Now, the land beneath the water can be owned by any one of different entities depending on the particular lake. So let's take Lake Martin, for example, where the river channel naturally occurs. The bottoms are owned by the state of Alabama. Otherwise, they're owned by either private individuals or the Alabama Power Company. So let's say that you build a house and you have your dock out in front of your house, which is permitted by the power company, and it's over public water. As long as an individual does not make contact with your property or does not exit the boat onto the property, he or she is free to fish in and around your dock, including beneath your dock. Mm-hmm. Now, what we would like to ask, fishermen specifically in these cases is if somebody does come down to their dock and they're trying to enjoy their dock and, give them some space. There's plenty of water out there. Maybe they can move along. But at the same time, if a fisherman is fishing in and around someone's dock and they're not creating a problem or causing an issue, then they've got the right to be there. And so, we would just ask that we avoid anything beyond civil conversation between folks. Because mm-hmm. the last thing we want to have happen is a physical altercation where somebody's injured or, Lord help, a firearm or some type of weapon be introduced into it. And it seems like that's a risk we're running these days. Anytime a situation like that occurs where people disagree over who has the right to be there, somebody's got to have a cooler head and just back away. Just call us, call Game and Fish. I mean, most of these incidents should be reported using 911, especially if there's a threat of physical or imminent harm to someone. Right. Call 911 and let us handle it. Record on your cell phone if you'd like to. Make notes as the time. Get a description of the person threatening you. But you vacate the area until things calm down a little bit. Let us get there and try to restore some sort of order and figure out what's going on. Because it's really not worth someone losing their lives or being injured in an incident like that.
Now, that right there is probably as well as you can put it. And the way I understood him, he said that the anglers have got the right to fish around the dock. They can't get on the dock. The landowner can't really say nothing about it. But now, Kevin, I tell you something. If I had a $80,000 pontoon boat or a fiberglass boat, I don't want nobody throwing no quarter or 3/4 ounce piece of lead up in there nicking on the boat either. So
you got to be respectful when you're fishing around them. But the key thing to draw from this, from a fisherman, is that if I do keep a cooler head and I do, diffuse the situation and move on like that, and I call law enforcement, I expect some return on my value.
That's right, exactly.
So I'm paying tax on all that water.
That's right.
And that's what I don't think any fisherman will have a problem with that, long as there's something done about it.
If needs to be a follow-up. As far as I know, I've talked to law enforcement, I've talked to the Corps. They were going to follow up. I have not heard whether they have or not.
That's
But-
right. That's right.
but-
You know, and
but
and
they
that's
might
what
have. I just hadn't heard.
But now that's what everybody's waiting on right
Yeah,
now. You know,
want
to
to know
find
what-
out if we if you know.
All right,
If-
now Joe Allen wanted to put his 2 cents into it too, as a property owner on the lake, and I did this little recording this morning with Joe Allen. So y'all listen to this. All right, y'all. I have Joe Allen Dunn with me, and he is a landowner, has a place on Lake Millers Ferry, and had it for a long time, since the 80s, right, Joe Allen? How long you been had your camp on the river?
Ooh, it'd be 88, 87, somewhere right in there.
All right, you're very, very familiar with what happened this weekend. Everybody in the world has seen the video that happened this weekend. Now, as a landowner and a having a camp on the river, tell us your experience with the anglers fishing around and in your slough and dock.
All right, when I first moved over, being new to the owning land on the water, you know, and I hit all kind of tops and stuff. And then when you see a fisherman come through there and he anchors up on your top at the end of your pier and he goes catching in big slabs, you get frustrated and you kind of do get angry at first. And as time went on, I understood that's their water too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do the same thing. I go to a lot of docks and fish their docks. People come fish my docks. And I finally come to grips with it. What I learned to do was go out there and talk to them, see what they've been catching, where they've been catching, make friends with them, because they allow to be back 2 or 3 times and for years on. And actually, I do make friends with a lot of people that fish my dock. It's their water too. Instead of getting mad thinking they're stealing your fish, no, they're not. You just have to learn that's everybody's water. Like I said, I've come to actually making friends with a lot of the people and get phone numbers and talk to them and see what they've been catching it and make it. And really, you need to make an experience where you can call somebody and trade knowledge and somebody that fishes a lot. And that's just the way I handle it now.
And that's the way it should be done. I mean, I totally understand the landowner's viewpoint, and I understand the angler's viewpoint too, but it's just common sense, Joe Allen. That's what it is,
right.
Common sense. And you said yourself when you first started, you was a little apprehensive about them being out there and even angry.
Right. Yeah.
You just had to get over that.
There's another part of it, you know. Now, if you catch somebody fishing your dock that comes there, because I did that one time, and I went out and confronted them with it. They go throwing trash out, beer cans, bags, paper. You say, "Hey, I ain't gonna have that now."
There you go.
You know, that's all our water, and I don't want to come dump trash in your backyard.
Right.
So don't dump it in my backyard either.
And you don't want them jumping up on your dock, going through all your fishing tackle or stuff like that either.
No.
So once again, it's just common sense. All right, Joe Allen, we're going to miss you tonight, but I really do appreciate you doing this because me and Kevin going to cover this tonight, and I did want your input on it, and I really do appreciate it. We'll see you next Wednesday night.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
One thing that I want to add to that, you know, crappie fishing is a little different than bass fishing.
Yeah.
I ain't never pulled up on a dock and caught 25 fish off nobody's dock.
Neither.
If you bass fishing, I probably don't even stop my trolling motor long enough unless I catch one, then I might make 2 or 3 extra pitches on it, and I'm going on to the next dock. You know, and this were bass fishermen where we had our incident this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, they probably didn't make 10 casts there. At that, you know, that, you know, there is a respect thing.
Well, I think what ticked him off was when they threw up in his boat. They threw up, it wasn't a boat in his boathouse, and they threw up in there. I think that's
well, I mean, that's irrelevant. I mean, whether, you know,
it's legal.
If you throw it beside it, you know, I mean, you fish, like the man said, you can fish around it or under it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I just, you know, this video went viral. You know, it's lots and lots of people that watched it.
I don't know how many messages, emails, tags I got Sunday. I mean, I spent all day Sunday.
My phone been going off all week.
But,
you know,
but anyway, what it boils down to is the landowners and the anglers both have got to respect each other. And that's just the way it is, you know. You know, they are not, the anglers are not trying to destroy your property. And somebody told me it's giving Lake Millers Ferry a bad name. I don't believe that. I believe one irate landowner is not defining the whole lake.
Well, on the interview that you played, in the entirety of that interview, he does not talk about our incident. He's talking about all this stuff up north.
That was on Kay Donaldson's podcast the week before this incident.
That's right. That's right. And I listened to it, and he actually discussed, Lake Martin, Barber County, several lakes in the northern part. This is not just isolated to Millers Ferry, the one that had the problem.
No,
it's something that's growing that that it needs to be maybe some better communication. For the state needs to do something. Maybe put some signs up, at different places, and things like that, and maybe some of these repeat offenders, if we have follow up from the law and there's some repercussions of what they're doing, then that may deter other people from doing the same thing.
Yeah, and this particular guy wasn't the first time he'd done that.
No, it's not the first time
he got it on camera.
Yeah, this first time he got it on camera.
I remember the first time he did it, too, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was in the middle of a hailstorm.
Yeah, but anyway, we just wanted to mention it, and so we couldn't not leave it alone. We had to cover it, and so that's that. Let's go on to the rest of the show, but appreciate y'all bearing with us on that, and everybody knows my thoughts on it. I guarantee, and yours too, Kevin. All right, the road closure is going to start Monday, the 27th of March. That will be right there where the going out of Camden on the four-way stop on Highway 28. They're shutting it down they said it's going to be a 60 construction days. If you're coming from Demopolis, Linden, Marion, Highway 5, that way, you're going to have to turn on 221 and come out down at McDonald's, or either go all the way to 41 if you're in a big truck and come through the middle of town. That's coming that way. If you're coming from Greenville, Selma, that way, going to Pine Hill or somewhere like that, you're going to have to come through downtown Camden, all the way out 41 and hit 221, come out there at McDonald's and go that way. That's starting this Monday. So all you guys that are coming here from North Alabama or South Alabama or East Alabama, Greenville, Selma, beware of that. That's going to be a headache for.
I hope we have a lot of signage.
I do too. It's going to be a mess.
Our area is going through some heavy duty road repairs, bridge repairs. There's 3 detours. They're trying to make it where I can't even get to work.
Yeah. Man, Leon, you know what Leon said? He said he waited out a storm in Joe Allen's front porch.
Yeah, well, that's funny. He said that. I was talking to another landowner about the situation. He said, "Shoot, if I see somebody out there and it's raining, I don't have a boathouse. I just got a pier."
Yeah.
I say, "Come on up here in the house until it's over with."
Yeah, really.
Even if they're fishing,
Yeah,
and
that's just one bad situation that got caught on camera, and
that
I would say.
Please, let's not make it worse.
Yeah. Now, all you guys saying you're going to go fish that pier just for spite, that's just as bad as a landowner coming down there with a shotgun.
Well, I mean, I don't care if everybody goes by and fish it. Don't go down there fish it to provoke it.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because like I said, bass fishermen, they don't spend no period of time on a pier. They moving down the bank. That's just it's different. Yeah, but
hey, Noonan, you're exactly right. I ate supper with Frank Lambert last night, and he's got the concrete.
Oh, yeah, he's ready to go.
He ain't got to worry about burning much fuel.
That's right. Yeah, he's going to make money on that project.
Yes, sir. He'll be able to retire on that project. For those of you who don't know, Frank Lambert owns the concrete, and it ain't 200 yards from.
You can see it from the intersection.
Yeah. So before we get into the hunting and fishing report, I do want to tell everybody about the Ellis's, the guys at the Corps put a footbridge on the ditch there at Ellis's Landing, a great footbridge, and I really do appreciate it because it sure makes it good on this old crippled fat man when I put my boat and I don't have to jump that ditch no more. Let's see what Bud says, and then we're going to leave it alone. Bud says, when they built Cleveland Dam, we were told as landowners, as long as no anglers, the public, step on your land, they were legal. But if they stepped on your land, that becomes trespassing other than the landowners had and that's exactly right. That's exactly what Captain Brooks said. Bud, sure was. Okay, Millie says, now I read this in the Camden paper that's starting Monday, but Millie says according to her state workers, the 4-way project won't start until sometimes in April. Okay, well, I reckon we'll know. Everybody will know when it starts.
Yeah. Hopefully the signage will be up where you won't get caught having to back up.
Hey, that Jason Domain's tuned in. How you doing?
How about Jason?
And Delta Jig Company doing real good. And who I think I saw didn't look, I think Ryan Gunn's on here too, also with his jig. He's making some pretty jigs too. All right, let's go to the Town Country United Bank hunting and fishing report. I have not heard a catfish report this week. Joe Allen's not here. I saw Big Bama Bryant. Give us a report up there, Big Bama Bryant. But please, oh please, tell us about the catfish, Kevin. If you was going catfishing, jugging this weekend, the water's fixing to get right, I believe.
Yeah.
And the temperatures was 60 degrees in the river, 56 in the sloughs today. And skipjacks are running at the powerhouse, according to Lucas Gibson. Your mama's watching. Say hello to your mama.
Hey, Mom.
And I heard that skipjack are running down at Cleveland because Bud sent me a picture of some he got, and he's talking about fishing the jugging contest in June now. So what are the catfish doing right now, Kevin?
Well, this water temperature has buffaloed me. I mean, we lost at least 10 degrees in the rivers and the sloughs in a week's time, and it's going to start. I feel like between now and Saturday, you're going to get most of that back, I believe. But, you're going to have, your flats, your current, all that's going to be in play. You'll be able to catch fish, shallow, because the catfish have not all spawned. Where the current is, it's going to take a little longer. Some of the stagnated backwater, some of those catfish maybe done their thing, but where there's a little current on these flats on the lower end of the river, you'll be able to fish shallow with your jugs and catch some. Probably going to be able to be in play in the rivers a little bit too, because it's going to slow down. Where they're running 2 units right now, so the current's going to be a fishable current. And the skipjacks are running. That's a good sign that the catfish are going to be moving. And whenever tight lining, it's about to get time for everybody to go to their best spot because they bite. Wherever you fish in the spring, whether it be on a ledge or off a deep bank or in an eddy somewhere, all that's going to be in play, because we're getting into fishing weather. I mean,
they got 2 units running around the clock at Millers Ferry, 2 units running around the clock at Jones Bluff. So that water's going to be moving, but it's going to be very fishable.
Yeah, it'll be a manageable. There'll be lots of eddies on the river, lots of stuff to do.
And like Kevin was talking about, the catfish are spawning. I think they're spawning in March and April, and then they go in the holes in May and June. That's when those grapplers and hand fishermen go.
When about time the water gets warm to get in.
So you come on to Millers Ferry and do some catfishing. Big Bama Bryant, if you see him anchored down out there and it looks like a beer joint out there on the water, that's Big Bama Bryant. Pull over there and he'll tell you where to catch some of them big catfish. Let's see what Dennis Parker said. He said he's seen some large blues and yellow cats coming off Lake spawning up in the creeks. So they're doing the same thing down here. Also, hey, Stephen Tidmore, how you doing? Glad to have you with us tonight. All right, let's talk about crappie. I wish Shane was here. He had a trip this afternoon and couldn't be here. But now he fished hard Saturday and did not do nothing. But you know him like I know him. He went back Sunday and tore their ass up.
Yeah, he was not going to be buffalo.
He's persistent.
Well, but, Saturday was a very interesting day with that northeast wind, and I had a Millers Ferry was stingy to me. I did not. But bass fishing, I can tell you exactly what not to do.
We're gonna get to that in a minute. We're gonna get to that. But talking about crappie, Shane is just so persistent. He was not gonna let them whoop them, and he said that where he found those fish Sunday was on a lay down pine tree in 12 foot of water. And he said he caught 25 off of one tree. I ain't never done that. Have you?
Not in a long, long time.
But I ain't Shane Jones either.
Yeah. Well, I talked to some guys, and there was some people, they was catching them a little bit shallower than that. and that caught 2, 4, 6 fish Saturday. Didn't have a big bag, but but they. You got some fish that was wanting to get up there, and then we had all this cold weather just knocked everything in the head, just reset spring pretty much. We had a false spring right there, absolutely, and then kind of to reset everything.
I hadn't heard from Gerald or Travis. Mark Bolin was out there today. He's the one that sent me the river temperatures, and I'm sure he'll post what he catches out there today. Now, Wayne Edgeworth was up on Lake also this weekend and this week, and he caught the heck out of him. Now, he's long line fishing. I don't know how to do that. Shane has told me, but he's long line fishing, and it was a little 3-year-old caught a 36-pounder out of a pond this week. I can't remember his name, but not as a catfish. I don't know why I said got that in the crappie list, but crappie fishing this weekend. I think the spring ritual is about to start if it hadn't started.
Yes, I think
that cold water knocked it back a little bit, but I think. I like you hear Shane say all the time, the water temperature, the dogwoods blooming or whatever, that don't have nothing to do with it. When the eggs ready coming out, they got
to go. And, as far as the shallow fish, the crappie fish, personally, I think if I was going to do it, just going around the banks everywhere, I don't think you're going to find them like that. But I think like on a point where there's deep water adjacent, move up on that shallow water on that point and back off. I think you will find some during the day moving up and down right there, testing the water.
If you find a gravel bank with some grass, buddy, you better go there.
That's right.
They're going to be in there. And I'm going to tell you something else now. And I've never done it, but I've had some of the best crappie fishermen in the world tell me that when you come in the afternoon, Jimmy Lawler, and you loading your boat and everybody else is loading their boat, you need to go back out there because they said between when the sun sets and dark, it's an hour and a half, 2-hour window in there when those big crappie come up in that grass. And I've had a lot of people tell me that. So there you go. But anyway, come on, crappie fishing this weekend. Lawson's Bait Shop's got plenty of minnows, and just come on, and we'll be glad to see you here. All right, let's talk about bass fishing. Pride of the South and Maddie had that tournament this weekend. 1844 won it. Greg Griggers won both of them. And
Hammer, come on in there with both of them. I'm talking about.
And I never did hear from Fishers of Men. Did you ever hear from them?
I did not.
Somebody said 15 pounds won it, but I never.
I think that's what Leon told me.
Now,
I think
Pride of the South will be here this weekend at Roland Cooper State Park. He's already got 80 boats signed up. So that's going to be
a division, I believe.
Yes, Delta. All them Mobile Delta guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then Extreme Bass will be in Demopolis this weekend. John will be in Demopolis this weekend. So, all right, now we all want to hear about your fishing.
Well, I can tell
you was all mute with us last Wednesday night.
I really felt pretty good about what I had going there, but now about 2 hours of that northeast wind blowing on my bank, it turned into, it looked like the boat was making a track down the bank. It was like bad. When we had 8 bites, caught 4 fish, had one little one get off, and I didn't see what the other was, but it was very slow, and we were at the wind where we tried to fish. We was out of trolling motor battery by dinner time. We was struggling with the batteries. We had a tough time. It was not an easy day. The spot fishermen prevailed. I saw a few largemouth, but the spot fishermen, come on in there and did well.
Well, if you're going to fish the Pride of the South this weekend, what's changed?
Well, I mean, the warming up, you're going to be the largemouth are going to be back on, but now the spots, I mean, it's time. They got to do their thing. So if you find those big spots on them on the riverbank, then they're gonna eat. Because it's getting they fat, they ready to go. So they should start spawning. Any time in the next 2 weeks. So they are gorging right now, getting full, and that your spot holes are going to be good. But now the largemouth, you're going to be able to catch the largemouth better. You're going to have the temperature of the water is going to get them in a more of a positive, more aggressive mode. Because they didn't leave where they were at. I don't think in some of these places during this last little cold front like that. They just pulled back. They were just hard to catch because some of the ones that we missed, you know, I saw them hit my bait. You know, they had their mouth shut. They just come over and just swatted at it, you know. And they weren't on a bed where they was at. They just was not in a positive feeding mode. You know, they just getting a reaction, and there wasn't enough reaction.
But it's always, Kevin, you have a group fishing like we had this past weekend of those hammers out there.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's gonna catch them. Somebody always catch them.
And then we had like 5 tournaments going on. It was a lot of people fishing. Mm-hmm. But now when you at Millers Ferry, if you put 70 people in a tournament that's willing to pay $150 to go fishing, all of them think they win.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna catch them. I don't care what the conditions are. I don't care how bad it gets. Yeah. Somebody's gonna catch them.
I guarantee you. And like I said, this weekend, Pride of the South, Roland Cooper State Park, and Extreme Bass Challenge in Demopolis this weekend. And I do want to mention Mason Green sent me a picture today. He fishes up there on the Alabama River. I think it's either Swift Creek across the river over there at the
Cooter's Pond.
No, it ain't Cooter's Pond. It's across the river. What is the name of that campground over there? Oh, golly.
Well, Swift Creek's on the Tauga side.
That's right.
Montgomery side. I thought that was.
Swift Creek's right there at Toggleville, and Cooter's Pond's in Prattville.
Yeah.
And then it's another camp across the river over there. I can't remember the name of it, but that's where he's been putting in. He's catching some fine spots up there. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about turkey hunting. This weekend is the Lowndes County Turkey Rodeo. Now I love that every year. Kevin, have you ever been up there? He has about 125 teams of turkey hunters, mm-hmm. and half of them are them Montgomery City boys, I call them, mm-hmm. and then half of them are them Dallas, Lowndes, Wilcox, Butler County country boys. Mm-hmm. And it is a great time, and it's $100 per team. They weigh in at 2 to 3 o'clock, and they'll have some fine eating down there, and it's just a lot of fun. And you can get up with Kyle Harrell at 334-431-0033 and get your team signed up for the Lowndes County Turkey Rodeo this weekend. And I am hearing, turkeys are gobbling everywhere. The youth hunters this weekend, man, they killed some turkey.
That's right. Actually, I was very surprised with that win as many was Saturday. You know, it wasn't as many as Sunday, but it was a lot of them on Saturday.
There it is. Billy Black, Holy Ground. That's where it is, Holy Ground. It's a little bit north of Prairie Creek. Yeah, Holy Ground. All right, but the youth, let me tell you, Kevin, it was just like the last week of deer season. I got up Saturday morning and I went and flew the drone. I didn't think I was going to be able to fly the drone because I thought it was going to be windy and cold, but it was cold. Anyway, I flew the drone and it got good daylight and my phone started pinging, ping. My messages ping, my email. Them kids were having them. It was a great morning and it was some great turkey.
And some smiles in them pictures, wasn't it?
And I tell y'all, send me them pictures because I know how you mamas and daddies are. They want to get that picture up. The minute I get it, they want to see it on that. And I try to get it up fast as I can. But it was a great morning. And the regular season opens up this Saturday morning. And
yes.
I'm sure it's going to be a lot of.
I think the weather's going to be better for turkey hunting this weekend than it was last weekend, but it'll be good.
All right, let's hear about rodeo.
We went to. We rodeoed in Meridian this weekend, and the girls from Livingston, they won first place again. They picked up right where they left off last semester. Brody he covered his horse, but he missed his mark out on Friday night, and then he made a good mark out, and about a half a ride, he got bucked off. He had a pretty good horse, and he made a few mistakes right there about midways of the ride, and he got bucked off. But this week has been unusual. The Missouri Valley team is so far from home, they just stayed. Because they going to Poplarville this weekend. Mm-hmm. So Brody had Daniel was able to get Ken and Daniel, and they've been working with Brody all week. And Ken from Missouri Valley he's a bareback rider. He's a bareback coach. He's got 3 of the top 5 from his school in the NIR, and about 5 graduates that come from there. They're all in the top 10 in the NFR. It lets us pass fall. and that he really is a good guy, and he spent a lot of time with Brody, and I'm very appreciative. And I went over there yesterday, and I spent the evening with him, and made a lot of progress.
Good. Well, Brody got to learn how to mark them horses out now. I'm telling you, he's got to learn, but we'll keep up with him. Now, Stephen, this is a good question. Me and Kevin was talking about this before the show. Now, you're up there on the Warrior River, so I'm not familiar who controls that water up there. Is that the Corps of Engineers too?
No, that's the TVA.
All right.
Tennessee Water Valley.
But I can tell you from my experience.
No, that's Tennessee Tom.
Yeah, on Lake Millers Ferry. I've been trying to find out who makes the decision on that water level for 40 years, and I ain't never been able to figure it out.
I mean, the closest I came to it was that they said it's a cubic feet of water that has to move down through all the dams. Everybody's got a quota, over, I don't know if it's a week or a daily or a monthly. So it's not like that, which on the Tennessee, they're not having, they don't have like the generation things at every dam like they do on the Millers Ferry, or except for Claiborne on the Alabama. But I know that the Tennessee time, most of them have the spillways, where they run over. So that water is not controllable. Mother Nature controls that water and the tide. The further you go down, the tides control how fast it moves. But they do have gates at some of the locks up through there. And I'm not sure how they decide, but I wish that all the people that do make these decisions took into account of the time of year and the spawn and stuff like that. But we've been wishing that for a long time.
Yeah, sure have. Two more events I need to put up there. Dippy Outdoors has got their crappie tournament this weekend out of Cliff's Landing, and the Poor Man's Team Tournament Trail is at the Demopolis City Landing also. Sign up at the ramp.
That's two of them.
Two of them, that landing. And heck, I tell you what, that landing, the way they done fixed it up. It's just like Bridgeport now. They got plenty of room.
Yeah, I noticed the other day that they was 4 wide the whole afternoon. Taken out.
Yeah,
I didn't ever see them go 5, but there was room to go 5 wide.
I tell you what, we got the facilities now, no doubt about it. But all right, anything else? Joe Allen, Dunn Sports is wide open. Y'all go check him out. I know he's got a lot of turkey stuff, he got some 410 shotguns and 410 bullets.
Yeah, he was pushing the Apex shells. He had a good shipment of those in.
So get ready this weekend. Them turkeys better not stick their head up this weekend, Kevin.
Yeah, with the weather like it is, it's gonna be on Saturday morning. I said it sounds like a dove hunt probably.
Well, I appreciate you helping me cover this issue that we had this weekend, Kevin. I know we don't like to get into no controversy, but that was something that needed to be done.
Just trying to stay out of the weeds.
Hopefully the landowner will realize how wrong he was and change his ways. And everybody I've talked to in the law enforcement has said that they have come across landowners like that, and after they explained the situation to them, they kind of had a level ahead. So maybe that'll happen.
Yeah, I hope
Dunn's is dialed in for turkey season. Yeah. You're right, bud. Dialed in, done. Oh, wait a minute. Where was it? Let me find it. I know I got it on here.
Tom earlier. I'm going.
Good job.
Yeah, I know I didn't erase it.
No, I heard it earlier.
Tom.
Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna find it. Here it is.
There's no doubt I'm going to have 15 today because I am dialed in on them. I guarantee 15 today.
And what do you have? 2?
Yeah. But, that I hope that our law enforcement have made some steps to address the issue, and that hopefully we'll get some feedback from one of them that we can share. And, I'm sure there's some
everybody wants to know.
That right now.
Everybody wants to know
what
it is, and it's got to be dealt with, no doubt about it. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Anything else you got, Kevin?
No, I just want to say thank y'all and enjoyed the visit. And till Dialed In Done, we'll see you next week.
Dialed In Done and Shane will be back
Shane,
next week.
That's right.
We'll see y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and see you next week.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.